We bring in Sunday Night in America host Trey Gowdy, former chairman of the House Oversight Committee and a former federal prosecutor, and the author of It Doesn't Hurt to Ask, which is what we're going to do right now. Trey, great to have you with us today. What's your reaction to this story by Senators Grassley and Johnson that multiple whistleblowers came forward to say that they witnessed the burying of evidence in the Hunter Biden case and the discussion that it was disinformation, it was all just coming from foreign governments, and they should just basically nothing to see here?
Well, Martha, the first thing I do is look at who the accuser is, and it is Chuck Grassley, who is hardly a conspiratorial member of Congress. He's a former chairman of the Judiciary Committee. He is not one of these members that has a faux outrage a day trying to drive the social media numbers. He's a pretty sober-minded guy. So that's the accuser. The accusation could not be more serious. A politicization of the FBI. Now, who's the accused? It's an entity that has had a miserable 6 years. Martha, if you go back to midterm exam, which was the Hillary Clinton investigation, then you go back to Russia, and they look at all the things the Bureau has missed, whether it's a tip in a school shooting case or USA Gymnastics, it's been a terrible 6 years. You add to that the allegation of a politicization. I need to know whether or not the whistleblowers are in a position to have access to real evidence. Was it hearsay? Was it double hearsay? Or do they really know what happened? And then you got to corroborate it. The problem, Martha, and I apologize for a long answer, but I care very much about our justice system. It's the last institution we really have standing. The issue then becomes, what can a minority member of Congress do about it? I mean, the media has an oversight role. Thank God you're covering it, but I haven't seen it in the Post or the New York Times. So the DOJ Inspector General, Michael Horowitz, could do it. The majority could do it. The Democrats control the House and the Senate. They could say, you know what, this is more than politics. This is about our justice system. Let's get some answers. Chris Wray has an obligation, I think. This is a serious allegation by a serious man. If Chris Wray cares about the reputation of the Bureau, he will call Chuck Grassley and say, it's either not correct or I fixed it.
Yeah, you know, you've got these two issues going on, right? You've got Hunter Biden, and the thing that always comes to my mind are some of the images that I saw on that laptop. And nobody has ever said that the laptop wasn't his or that those photos of the drug use and guns and all the rest of it, that it wasn't real. So until I hear that, you know, I'm going to assume that it's his, right? So you have these pieces of evidence. You have the foreign lobbying, the foreign business interests that he was engaged in. You've got emails that track all of that, right? So it seems to me that it's pretty tough to just sort of gloss over this, right? So this is where Merrick Garland has to decide whether or not he's going to pursue this, because this is sensitive, right? It's the son of a president. But at some point, the integrity of this system really needs to be in the forefront. And we all heard that Merrick Garland, when he was nominated to be a Supreme Court justice, was the most fair-minded person who could sit on the court. That's what President Obama said at the time, right? He said, this is a person who sees it right down the middle. He will be so fair. This is a big test for him, this Biden case, and the Trump case, which I want to ask you about as well.
Yeah, it's a big test, but I mean, he was a D.C. Court of Appeals judge. I mean, he's supposed to have devoted his life to working for a blindfolded woman who doesn't care if you're a Republican or Democrat. You mentioned disinformation. All right, the presumptively erroneous Adam Schiff immediately said this whole laptop thing is disinformation, okay? But then you had a former federal prosecutor who, oh, by the way, happened to be the director of national intelligence named Johnny Ratcliffe, who said, it's a lot of things, but Russian disinformation is not one of them. So it's clearly not Russian disinformation. The head of our intelligence community said it was not. Merrick Garland, what he does with it, I'm not supposed to know. But if he does not treat this the same way he would an investigation into Hunter Smith or Hunter Jones, then the politicization of our justice system has been complete, and we need to start the republic over again.
Yeah. All right. We'll have you back, and we'll talk about the Trump side of the equation as well, because a lot of discussion about whether or not they're moving towards any kind of charge in that case. We know they've spoken to a couple of the high-level people, including Mark Short, in the Pence organization. So we'll save that for next time. Trey, thank you very much.
Yes,
always good to see you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.